Morning, gardeners and homesteaders. Hope you're having another absolutely fantastic day. Now that it is planting season for most people in the country, I hope you're loving life. And today we're going to celebrate by doing a little bit of a garden tour. We've done some planting, and then I'm also going to take advantage of the rain coming up, and we're going to do a little bit of planting there as well. So I'm just going to take you around, show you the garden, focus on what's changed, and just kind of see where we are. Middle of April, coastal North Carolina. Temperature today should be about 80. We got a storm coming in, so we're going to be getting some rain. And the low temperatures right now are right around 50 to 60 degrees. They're in between there, so it's really perfect to get stuff going. So if you've been watching the video for any time, you can tell there's a big difference in the broccoli bed. So we've been harvesting some broccoli, and I need to come out and I need to keep harvesting because it got warm fast, and you can see we're just starting to get a little bit of bolting action. So we're going to pretty much get probably almost all the broccoli out today. And I'm going to come back after the video. I don't want to do it on the video and put my peppers in this bed. So we'll do hots and sweets in this bed, and we're pretty much going to turn and burn it. I'm going to fertilize it heavy. I'm going to kind of redo my drip, amend the soil, and then just kind of make my rows and get it all planted. It's not ideal, but it's okay. You know, this is that time of year where we just need to make up the difference with food for the plants. So we'll continue that in the process. Over in this bed where the Brussels sprouts were, they're gone. We got a lot of Brussels sprouts, and I'll be doing a video about how I decided to grow as much as I did really soon, actually, because it really was helpful, and I didn't know if it'd work, but it did. But for now, let's look and see what we got. So we came out and I got some seeds, and now that I'm out here, I forgot that I need to get more seeds. But in the back row here, we've got zucchinis, and then we've got, I think, one more zucchini plant, and then the rest are scallop bush. And then in my pocket, I've got these Desi squash seeds, which are my absolute favorite squashes to grow. And we're gonna do a couple plants here as well, just to kind of fill it out. I did 2-foot spacing in between, so these are 8-foot beds, so roughly about 4 squash per row. And this one, based on the way it looks, I think I'm gonna go ahead and plant an extra one and just put them on the edge and let them grow out. And that's so I can get more of these Desi squash in, because they're really, really good. Just as with everything else, I kind of stagger my plantings. So, and actually this one works out pretty good because there's an emitter right here. So we'll just drop a couple in, cover them up. I mean, it's really that simple. Actually, this needs to come up too. I can't get this out. This is a Brussels sprout. We're just gonna leave it and let it rot. But we'll do a couple more. Boom. And then we'll just round out the bed. The seed that I forgot to bring out here is I need to go ahead and put in my cucumbers as well. I'll do that afterwards, but that way, because these squash are already growing, they can take off and the plants will grow at the same time, so there's no shading issues because it's tightly planted. And again, with those, I'm gonna plant them in between the squash so they get a better chance to grow. And that's just gonna help overall. If you can see here, squashes are a little yellow, and that's actually by design. Did not fertilize them when I was growing them inside because I didn't want them to grow too fast. And they were stressed, and they were putting on little flower buds. So when I planted them, I went ahead and pulled the flower buds off, so it signifies to the plant to go ahead and grow more roots. Now, I did put them in and give them some fish fertilizer last night. I know it's not ideal, but I wanted to go ahead and push a little bit of food to them just to green them up and get them ready to grow. Sometimes you just got to bend the rules, right? And it's just how it works. So this was the cabbage bed here. This is all ace bush tomatoes, and I do need to come out here as well and put my green beans on here. We're gonna go ahead and get those started because it seems like the cold, cool weather is just kind of done at this point, so it's ready to go. So all of these are ace bush tomatoes, and they again are 3 feet spaced apart. And I was about to say cattywampus. They are diagonal, so there's gaps in between to help with that airflow. And like right here, you can see there's a pretty big gap in the front. That's okay, because when the beans grow up, they'll be able to push the air that way. So there'll be more airflow. So these are our rutabagas, and we are starting to get some bulbs on them, so that is a good thing. Looks like we're going in the right direction. So hopefully we'll be getting some rutabaga soon. I'm looking across and I see bulbs across the board. So we're looking at a couple weeks here before we start harvesting these. I do not eat the greens, but if I did, I would be taking some greens right now. And then our lettuces, you can really see how this worked out good. See the step effect? That was the different varieties that we planted. So this is doing really well. We're almost done thinning out, and where we have thinned out, everything is filling back in. So now it's about just kind of pulling the full heads and creating space. And so what we'll do with that is we'll pull this row and then this row. And then we'll start pulling in between every other one just to create more space and more airflow so we don't get any disease issues and kind of hopefully keep the pests down. The taters are doing very good in this bed. This bed's been fertilized heavy. The other one that we'll see has not been, and there is a difference in growth. I want you guys to see that. But this one's growing very nicely. Everything is going in the right direction. We've had a little bit of pest pressure, but nothing too serious yet. I'm going to end up putting my neem oil. I have cold pressed neem oil that is solidifies when it's cool. So this time of year, I have to put it in the greenhouse so it'll warm up so I can use it. And then I'll make it and I'll probably end up starting to spray those just because we're starting to get some pest pressure. And I have to do my research. I have to see, I'm not an entomologist. I need to figure out what the pest is, but it's definitely affecting it. There was a video where I was doing and the sound just turned out terrible and I accidentally deleted the clip, but there was a leaf with like 10 of the bugs on there. And so all I did is I pulled that whole leaf off and then basically took out a whole generation. It was cool to get rid of all of those in just one fell swoop. And so now we're starting to see them come back, so we definitely need to start treating. So our onions are doing very well too. You can see they're getting some size to them. Last night we fed them, and that is gonna be their last feeding because as you can see, they're starting to bulb. So we will not be feeding these anymore. Now that is up to their own devices to get going and to make their bulbs. No more nitrogen will go to these at all. It's time for them to finish out and grow, and we'll see what we get. And the back row here is garlic, and it seems to be doing well. If we come over here, everything's doing pretty good. The cabbages, these are bobcat cabbages, and they are just starting to head. So it's a little bit slow. We're gonna keep feeding them nitrogen, keep pushing it, but they are starting to head now. So hopefully we can get some kind of head. Based on the time of year, based on when I planted them and the development of them, I'm gonna plant them earlier next year. I'm gonna plant them a month earlier. And I think just like I did with the broccoli. So this is how I learned, and I tweak my schedule just like you should do yours. Even if you've bought a seed starting schedule from me, which there's an email address below, you can email me, we can get one to you. I still need to tweak a little bit because each year is a little bit different, and I think I can squeeze out another year. So we're gonna do that. And I also forgot, I got another seed to plant. So these are my Seminole pumpkin seeds, and I saved these from that huge plant from last year that was on this trellis that grew all the way up, all the way down, and almost out there. It was giant. We got like, I don't know how many pumpkins we got off of it now, but we saved the seeds from it. And so this year we're gonna put it on this trellis, and the goal is to get it up and over. And then once it gets about halfway up, probably, we'll start training it to come down and just going off in that direction. And that's what we like to do. It just creates more space. This bed here, which is the lettuce and rutabaga bed, it will get corn put in it too. So they say squash and corn play well together. We're gonna see, but guiding it on this trellis is gonna make all the difference. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop some of these in. The beauty of having a trellis is this plant gets so big that I can actually plant twice as much, which is only 2 plants on here. But I put one here. There's actually a drip emitter right here. So I planted it right next to it so it'll get the water it needs. And then one over here as well. Now last year we did the same thing and only one plant took off and it just kind of did what it did. But this will help work with that too. So that's why these trellises are so awesome to use. And I'm just kind of making the dirt a little bit even, cover up this drip emitter even more. You come to the other potato bed, and you see what it looks like when you do less fertilizing. It's just so much less. So we're gonna start hitting this now and just getting it going. These are Kennebucks, the other ones were Yukons. And then these are all the tomatoes that we have in this bed. So we've got red snappers, which I'm really excited about. I really wanted to grow them. I've heard so many good things about them, so we'll see how they do this year. And then the front ones are Heinz 57. This bed needs to be planted, and I think I'm going to direct sow some more squashes or zucchinis in it. The raccoon just hit it. You can see how it's all tore up. So we had to move our device out here. But we'll get this all figured out and get it going, and then that will just kind of get it in the right direction. And so basically that other bed planted like it is with the squash, it's got a month head start, and then we put this in, so that should give us another month behind it where we start to get harvest, as long as we do everything correctly. And these are our carrots who are coming along. These are our winter carrots here, and I'm just looking for shoulders. Not seeing any just yet, but we'll get them. I think I'm gonna push a little bit of nitrogen to them and get them to pump up, give them some juice, and then let them take off. But the winter carrots will definitely be ready before spring carrots. And then this will move over into watermelons after that. I'm honestly hoping to get those carrots out of the ground in May. That's what I'm hoping. I can't guarantee it, but if I start pushing some food to it, hopefully it'll kind of kick it off in the right direction. But over here, we've got the containers, which we're just finishing up. Actually, as a matter of fact, I need to just go ahead and take these little cabbages out. Got these cabbages here. We're gonna pull those. Matter of fact, just go ahead and pull it now. So we got our cabbage, and then that leaves that one open, and then this one as well. And just pull that, and so now we can put whatever we want in there. And I'm thinking basil, tomato, tomato, tomato. Don't know, want to see what the seed looks like on this. I know what it's going to look like, but never had a cabbage go to seed, so this is a good experience for me just to kind of test it out and see what's going on. And so the greenhouse is basically going to be Bolt City right now. The one things I want to show you, our month-old tomatoes that we put in are growing very nicely now. So this was a test this year to see how they do. And I need to clear out all of the spinach that's bolting so we can just see those. Priorities, you know what I'm saying? I got to get the rest of everything else done. So we'll get all that done, but that's everything going on in the garden. There's a lot right now. We're rotating out. We are succession planting. We are interplanting. We are direct sowing. We are transplanting. We're doing everything. And this is the time of year where you get to put all of your skills together and you get to sharpen that toolbox. So get those knives sharpened, get those skills really honed in, and get this going on, because we ain't stopping. This is just the beginning, and it's a beautiful beginning to the year.